on, people? What's happening? Happy Saturday, guys. Ahlan wa sahlan. Kayf halak? How you lot all doing? As you can see, I'm trilingual now. Big up to everyone locked in. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. Big up to Stu, says, how many are you away from 16k? I think I am 91 subscribers away from 16k, which is crazy because I didn't even envision being on 16k halfway through the year. But you lot got me there. Man. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. Manchester United play football today. Yes, Manchester United up against West Ham in a pre-season fixture. It is a cup as well, but it's also a pre-season game, and I'm looking forward to it a little bit, just because we might get the chance to see Brian Mbeumo. We get to see Mateus Cunha again. But after some of the comments from the manager in the press conference ahead of the game, it made me feel a type of way. We hear the word suffer. We heard the word suffer so much last season, and I'm gonna keep it $150 with you guys, as the kids would say. I ain't got no suffering left in me. I think we've suffered enough already, not just under Amorim, but even under previous managers. I don't think I could handle suffering. However, with saying that, I think we will suffer. I think Amorim is being as honest as possible, but I also think context is key. Don't just go off of what you lot see from the aggregators on social media. Make sure you lot go and watch the entire press conference and the entire comments from the manager, because it's very important, because I think it gets taken out. I think, like, with social media, people just take a snippet of what they think will get attraction online, and they're not given context. Give the full context. So we're going to talk about, obviously, Ruben Amorim's comments, talking about we must suffer, and exactly try and dissect exactly what he meant from that. We're going to talk about Antony's agent confirming there is interest from Saudi and he could be on his way to Saudi. It sounds like Real Betis, if you ain't trying to pay up, you got to keep it moving. Ruben Amorim obviously spoke about quite a lot of stuff in the press conference. I mean, he said Luke Shaw was world class. That's when I knew this guy, he's on something, because what? But he also spoke about Kobbie Mainoo. I think it was Adam McCullough from Stratford, the Stratford paddock, that actually asked him the question about his plans for Kobbie Mainoo. So he spoke a little bit about Kobbie Mainoo as well. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all the transfer news. Obviously, Manchester United heavily linked to a goalkeeper right now, and I've seen everyone having conversations about that. We're going to talk about the Emi Martinez links as well, because it's been reported that Man United tried to get him on a loan and Aston Villa rejected it, and it's also been reported that if Aston Villa were to let Ollie Watkins go, they value him at £60 million. That is a lot of money for a player of Ollie Watkins' caliber, if I'm being honest. It sounds like Benjamin Sesko could be on his way to Newcastle, because it seems like, obviously, Alexander Isak for certain is on his way out. So we're going to talk about kind of the domino effect on Manchester United, and Ruben Amorim actually spoke about it in his press conference. He spoke about Man United's preseason and how happy he is with the squad that he has at his disposal. Now, I don't know if he's just trying to be nice. Like, maybe this season he's approaching his managerial behavior in a different way, but there is no way on this God green earth that God has created that Ruben Amorim is genuinely happy with the players and the assets that he has. Now, I don't know if you guys want to, but I'm planning to do a video that basically breaks down with a tactical board. I know people love that stuff, with a little tactical board on the screen, of breaking down exactly how Ruben Amorim plays and how I think Man United should play. I don't know if that's something you guys want to see. If you lot want that, let me know. But also, I think it will help with the preseason. What's it called? I think it will help with the preseason when we play teams like West Ham. If we can identify certain passages of play and identify certain things, and really kind of predict where Man United's shortcomings will come from. Because I think there will be shortcomings for Manchester United, unfortunately. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Minna, please, Minna, I know that you're one of the smartest YouTubers out there. I don't think I'm a YouTuber, by the way, guys. I think I'm a content creator, not a YouTuber. Do not fall for the nonsense that everyone is doing. Let's not take his words out of context. P.S. Thank you very much for your concern. Maybe you joined the stream a bit late, but I literally went on like a 30-second rant about not taking the words out of context and actually reading or watching the full press conference to see exactly what he meant and in what context it was used. I explained that aggregators online, they take the juiciest part and they post that so that it riles people up. But I think you might have joined the stream late. But thank you so much for your concern. Content with the squad, yet will suffer. Interesting. Big up to Ridwan says if he says that, it's because he was told to say that. So is he a puppet? Is that what we're saying? Is he a puppet? Let's actually start with Mr. Ruben Amorim. I was going to start with transfers, but we can start with the Ruben Amorim stuff. Big up to everyone. Listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button if you've just come through. Now, it's been reported by Samuel Luckhurst that Amorim is content with how the squad is shaping up for Manchester United, and there's nothing imminent planned up front. United's plans reportedly their plans for a striker was impacted when Liam Delap opted to join Chelsea in May. Now, just for some context, obviously, we know Liam Delap joined for 30 million to Chelsea. He was one of the cheaper strikers available in this market. I don't think anyone will get a player of Liam Delap's potential or quality for 30 million in this market. It's not going to happen. And I think Man United maybe prioritized signing him because he kind of fits the narrative of exactly what it is that Ineos are trying to do in terms of building a young squad with Premier League experience, but affordable. So I think that's why it feels like, and it felt like at the time, Liam Delap was Manchester United's number one priority for the striker position. Now, one thing that Ruben Amorim said in his press conference, and that's what we're going to kind of discuss now, is he spoke about they're calling them the bomb squad. I don't know why the hell the media keep calling them the bomb squad, but the players that are living in exile, living in exile is not a nice thing, guys, especially like political exile. Would you class this as political exile? Maybe. Ruben Amorim spoke about the likes of Garnacho, the likes of Antony, the likes of Jadon Sancho, the likes of Malacia. He insisted that those players, firstly, will not be sold for cheap. They will be sold for what Manchester United value them at, number one. Number two, he also said that he is happy to welcome them back if they do not leave. And that's really interesting to me. Because it's quite different to, I think, what I've seen with previous managers that have had these situations arise with players and then they exile them. I remember when Enzo Maresca took over Chelsea last year and he had a list of players that he did not want. I mean, Chelsea had 100 players, but he had a list of players he didn't want by any means necessary. Didn't take them on pre-season, made them train individually or with each other, and told them, listen, you got to find yourself a move. And it led to a point where, Trevor Chalobah was one of them, Raheem Sterling was one of them, Ben Chilwell was one of them as well. That's who I remember off the top of my head. And it led to players like Raheem Sterling getting a deadline day move to go to places like Arsenal. And it didn't really help in Chelsea's favour because, yes, they got the players out. But if you didn't know, Chelsea paid predominantly all of their transfer fees whilst they were, all their wages, sorry. Chelsea paid a majority of all their wages when they were out on loan. Arsenal, I think, did not contribute at all to Raheem Sterling's salary. And then they had the opportunity, funnily enough, when they needed a centre-back, suddenly they decided to recall Trevor Chalobah. Now, when I think situations like this play out in the public eye, I think Ruben Amorim is doing a little bit of damage control here by saying, I'm happy to welcome them back. I don't think he's happy to welcome them back. I don't think he wants to welcome them back. All three are still Chelsea players. Exactly. They still yet to get rid of them. I think Chalobah is not going anywhere, but I think the other two, Ben Chilwell and I think Raheem Sterling, will be expected to leave this summer. But with Ruben Amorim, I think with everything playing out in the public eye, he's probably realized now that you got to take control of the narrative. Manchester United have to take control of the narrative because now the narrative is they are in exile. They're not allowed to train. They're not allowed to do anything. But now with Ruben Amorim suggesting publicly, I'm happy to welcome them back, it makes it feel like it's not an end-all or be-all situation with those players. And it's not a either leave or you are never playing football again. But I don't think Ruben Amorim is telling the truth, if I'm being honest. I'm not calling him a liar. Is that me saying that he's a liar? I wouldn't say he's lying, but I just think he's doing damage control and he's trying to control the narrative so that maybe other clubs think, okay, well, maybe Man United might still want these players. Because right now, I think the difficulty to sell, and he did mention actually the World Cup year. So if we say exactly, if we go verbatim, word for word, what he said right here, he said, I think that this is not the case because there are different reasons for the players. He says some players have to find a new place to have more space in the team, and other players clearly show they want a new challenge and want new teams. We are just allowing these players to have time to think and decide. I mean, I don't know how much time these players need. He then went on to say, if we reach a point where they have to join the team, i.e. Man United, he said, they will join the team because they are our players. I know for a fact Jason, Omar, and the club have a number for these players. If they, i.e. the clubs, don't reach that, they will be Manchester United players. No doubt about that. I understand the clubs are waiting for the last minute, but they can have a surprise. He also mentioned the fact that we are in a World Cup year. Here you go. I don't want to say this is like, it is a little bit blackmailish, but it's more so like, it's a kick up the backside maybe that the players need to try and get a move, because he's reminding them, I'm ready to receive the players. They have more competition, i.e. Man United have brought in more players. So these attackers, it's mainly attackers that United are trying to get rid of, right? And we've brought in Mbeumo, we've brought in Cunha. So even if they do stay, some of them will not play. And then Ruben Amorim went on to say, if you want to play in the World Cup next year, you need to play. So I'm really happy with that because I have more options. If they have to fight each other to play, for me, it's perfect. I don't think he wants them to stay. All managers lie in a press conference to some extent. They need to keep some things private. I don't think it's lying. That's why I'm saying it's not lying. For me, it's more so controlling the narrative. It's damage control, but also letting the players know that it's in a World Cup year. And if you want to play in it, you must play games. He will then welcome them back, but he won't play them. And they know that. Exactly. I agree with that. I think he knows that he won't play these guys. Man United have brought in 2 new attackers, right? Garnacho is not getting in ahead of them. Antony's not getting in ahead of them. Jadon Sancho's not getting in ahead of them. And even if United play Cunha as a false 9, you've got Bruno to play in the 10. You've got Ahmad to play in the 10. There's people I think that are above in the pecking order than these guys, even though it's actually quite sad. For Garnacho in particular, I think it's quite sad because he actually has one up, on all these other players that are part of this exile list. He actually played last season. Out of all the players that are being sold, if put Rashford in that equation, the 5 players that are being sold this summer that United are trying to get rid of, he is the guy that was part of the team that finished in such a mediocre position, number 1, number 2. He got the most chances, I think, out of a majority of the attackers in terms of opportunities in front of goal, opportunities to play. It's only towards, I think, the latter stages of the season when Amorim started using him as a bench impact that he realized he might have fell out of the pecking order. But he has one up on all these other guys because he's been playing for Manchester. He's been playing for Man United for the last couple of seasons. He's been used by the manager many a times. His CV and his resume should be easier to sell to clubs than the people that are actually living in exile. The people that actually Man United fully do not want them back. And it's not the first time that United have not wanted them. You know, Antony, Sancho, Rashford. Malacia is unfair to put him in the equation, but he's part of the 5, so we have to mention him. So the fact that United are struggling to even get offers for Garnacho, and I don't know if you guys realize, and I don't know if you lot follow Fabrizio on Twitter, but I think every other day he's reiterating he wants to stay in the Premier League. He wants to play Champions League. Now, I of course, I think it's I think that's agent fed because Fabrizio tweets about Garnacho about every other day at the least. So in the week, you're getting 3-4 tweets about Garnacho, and it's usually the same thing. Nothing, absolutely nothing about clubs genuinely being interested. Rob Dawson is the only journalist in the last 48 hours, I would say, that has linked Garnacho to a club. And then reportedly, he's saying Bayern Munich are looking at him as an option, but Bayern Munich just put in another bid, or are about to put in another bid for Luis Diaz. We know they want a left winger. they went from Nico Williams to Luis Diaz. Hell, I think they would even try sign like Rafael Leao before they go for Garnacho. But the point is that all these players living in exile, political exile, if you want to call it, nobody wants to buy the one that actually played for Manchester United last season. Antony's being linked to Saudi. Malacia is being linked to Saudi. Jadon Sancho is being linked to everywhere in Italy. I swear, soon he's going to be linked to, what's that place in Italy? Is it the Colosseum? The Colosseum soon is going to be linked here, because I don't think there's a place or a team in Italy that has not been linked to Jadon Sancho at some point. And I don't know if that's club fed. I don't know if it's media agent fed. Garnacho is the only one that's not getting interest. So if there's anyone that I can see on the horizon that maybe Amorim might have to eat his words and reintegrate someone into, I think it might be Garnacho. And you know what? It's funny because in that way, then Amorim he doesn't have the last laugh. He who last laughed, last laugh. He who laughs last laugh. I don't know. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Amorim told him, you better pray you find a club to buy you. And if Amorim has to then reintegrate him back into the team, it is a slap in the face to Garnacho, because it's like, I told you so. But equally, it's a slap in the face for Amorim, because you did all of that for absolutely nothing. He who laughs last, laughs loudest. There you go. We got there in the end. We got there in the end. Big up to Aminor with the super chat. Aminor, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it so much. Says, Minna, if we sell Ghana for less than 50, Barada out. Where do you not value Garnacho at? What did you just say? We got there in the end, man. Post Manton helped us get there in the end. But big up to Aminor with the super chat saying that less than 50 million for Garnacho, Barada out. I remember when in January we were talking about Garnacho being valued at 70. I think that was the conversation that was flying around. We were valuing him at 70 million. From there, I think this summer I've seen people saying they'll take 40 for him. People saying they'll take 45, 50 for him. And I think why everybody is valuing him above 50 million is obviously because, firstly, I feel like 50 million is the starting price for anyone that got, if you got a season and a half of Prem experience or a season of Prem experience, 50 million is your starting fee. And we've seen all these players go for 50 million plus. So I do agree that Garnacho should be going for that. But I also I tried to look at it on the flip side and realized that United shot themselves in the foot with everything that played out publicly with Garnacho. Unfortunately, it might not have been solely Man United's fault, but Man United briefing media that, you know, that he's in exile, that he's not allowed to train, he's not part of preseason. It's showing clubs that we don't want him, and I think that always works in the favor of the other clubs. It will never work in the favor of Manchester United. Historically, players that United have tried to get rid of, we sold Donny van de Beek for like £5. I can't even remember. I think it was less than a minute. I think it went for like 500k. Players that you try to get rid of, you can bargain with them. And people can argue, yeah, but look, Van de Beek hasn't gone on to do anything. That's not the point. It's the fact that United dropped 40 million on him and then many years later sold him for less than $1 million. Garnacho is probably one of the few probably academy assets that they can genuinely cash in on. And the only other person is Mainoo. Until, you know, we see the next couple of seasons how the, you know, under 18s or under 21s kind of transition into first team football, we won't know who will be of a large valuation. But Man United might never get the opportunity to sell an academy player for 50 million plus. Like, they genuinely might never get that opportunity. If he stays and Ruben is sacked in October, does he come back and play? I feel like we're on a merry-go-round. I genuinely feel like if that happens, we're just on a merry-go-round. Casey says Amorim shot Garnacho's value. How did Amorim do that and not Garnacho himself? I think both of them had a part to play with it. But who's the one that said things publicly? Garnacho was the one that said stuff publicly, not Amorim. We just found out from Laurie Whitwell what happened behind closed doors. That's because of leaks. But if we're talking about genuinely who stood in front of reporters with a mic in front of cameras and publicly basically discredited everything the manager just did across Europa League, it was Garnacho. Amorim never came out and said, oh, Garnacho's this, he's that. He just said that that Garnacho missed a chance in front of goal in the semis. And so he brought on Mount, and Mount had an impact. So that's why he started Mount in the final. It's just 1 + 1 = 2. Garnacho was the one that I think publicly undermined the manager. And obviously, it's not the first time that Amorim and Garnacho has had an issue. It's not the first time that Man United and Garnacho had disciplinary issues. He had some disciplinary issues under Erik ten Hag as well. Am had a pure profit sale from next year. Damn, it's already 5 years since he's been at the club. Even with Alanga and other wingers going for the amounts they've gone for, Garnacho isn't worth more than 40 million. If they get the offer, take it and run. This kid is poison. Wow. Fillmore says, only way I'll sell him for 40 million with a 50% sell-on clause plus add-ons. Garnacho staying at United is Garnacho's problem. He's not going to play. And it's not even the fact that he's not going to play. With the fact that it's also a World Cup year, I don't ever think he would play for Argentina. I always think he would be a bench boy that comes on and yeah. And if you're not playing at club level, it's very unlikely he will go to the World Cup. Very, very unlikely. 50 million plus add-ons. 50 million plus add-ons is reasonable. Super Arch says 70 my ass. No more than 40. Casey says Garnacho is worth at least 55 million. Danny says 45 to 50 with a healthy sell-on clause. D-Fly says 25 million. So that is a range. I've seen someone say 25 million. It seems to be 45, 50 million, 55 million is the general consensus of what Garnacho would go for. Just quickly on Amorim, though. Just quickly on Ruben Amorim. Do you guys think he will have to reintegrate some of these players back into the team? Do you guys think there's a possibility that some of these players will not leave Manchester United? Because I think I don't think it's likely that everyone will leave. I genuinely don't think it's likely that all of them will leave. We're going to talk about, obviously, we're going to talk about Antony being linked to Saudi and Malacia being linked to Saudi as well. Both players being linked to Saudi. Jadon Sancho, not much happening in his in his realm, in his world. Not much is happening. But I do think Man United might have to bite the bullet on someone. I think someone is they're gonna have to bite the bullet on someone. And just quickly on Ruben Amorim, he said in a press conference yesterday, he was talking about playing, etc. I want to get the full quote up. I want to get the full video up actually, because I had it. Everybody, even Fabrizio, is taking that little extract from the press conference and running with it. So if you have seen, everybody is quoting this: we are going to suffer, but that feeling of bonding is really important. The spirit is positive. But I really think that we need to look at I think we need to look at the full quote. If you lot just bear with me a second, because I had the video here. I might get demonetized for it, but it is what it is. If I can find it. This is just so long, man. My feed is just full of all right, let me go. I think I might have found the video here. Okay, I don't have the full video. I'm so shameless, guys. I don't have the full video, but I will bring up the full quote because oh my god, every time I see suffer, I just think of last season. Honestly, I just think of last season. That was so traumatic. So Ruben Amorim was talking about bonding. And he said, the best teams in the world, you feel the bond between the players and you feel it's important. We need to remind ourselves how special it is to be Manchester United. He said, I really like that feeling to be in a group that is healthy. We are going to suffer. That's exactly what he said. We are going to suffer. We have problems, but that feeling of bonding from everybody, staff, players, is really important. I think it can help us to win games when we're not performing so well. So essentially, he's saying that it's important for everyone to bond, for these players to bond with each other, because that's what's going to get them through the games that they struggle with. And that is true to an extent. I do agree with that. To an extent, when you've got a cohesive relationship with your teammates, I do agree with the fact that that relationship will push you through because you're going to be familiar with each other. It's bonding. He is right. But I don't want to hear the term suffer. We are going to suffer. I don't want to hear that. He hasn't said verbatim, we are going to suffer in the Premier League. We are going to suffer to play better next season. Because that's what he said last season. Last season, he said we have to suffer now so that we play better next season. And next season is on the horizon now. So come November, December, I'm going to look back at what he said 12 months ago, and I'm going to look at whether United look better, whether United are playing better, whether there's an improvement, whether the suffering, was worth it. We're going to look back at that. So that quote, this whole "we must suffer" thing, people have taken it out of context. They've taken that one line, we are going to suffer, we're going to have problems. People took that out because people took that one line and posted it everywhere. But the full quote talks about how the best teams in the world, verbatim, this is what he said, the best teams in the world, you can feel the bond between the players. It's really important. And he obviously speaks about the fact that it's healthy for the group to, bond, to get along, because they are going to struggle. They're going to suffer and they're going to have problems if they are not bonding. And that is true to an extent. I do agree, because if you got for example, if you got two central midfielders that never played together, that play together once in a while on the pitch, is very difficult for them to have that bond, to have that relationship. But I do think it's also the responsibility of the players and the manager, and also the wider Manchester United staff, to create an environment that the players can, quotation mark, bond, right? But let's not be fooled by the term bonding, and let's not be fooled by these buzzwords. They are not the end all or be all for performances to be good, in my opinion. They are not the end all or be all. If people have no bond, does not mean, in my opinion, that Manchester United will be horrible. And equally with saying that, there's no guarantee that if the players bond and they have a good relationship, that they are going to, win the league. There's no guarantee with that. I think Man United, and I think Amorim just needs to focus on making us look like we're playing football. That's it. And the reason why I mention that is because when I watch, in my spare time, guys, I'm a loser. I do watch a lot of Manchester United games from last season and I look at stuff. And I have a feeling that a lot of teams, once they congest and play tightly in the middle and force United obviously out wide, because that's what Amorim will prefer, to play through the wing backs, and he needs his wing backs to be 1v1 specialists. He needs his wing backs to really essentially be up and down the line consistently. Once I think teams figure United out, I feel like it's going to be so difficult for us to play through teams. When you play predominantly through the wide channels, I just think that is quite limiting. I do think that's quite limiting. However, I can't write off the season already, because we've only played one game of preseason. We got another one tonight. I think I need to see a bit more of football, and also with what Manchester United potentially could bring in. Now, Ruben Amorim also spoke about the squad that he has. And he said that he was absolutely, I'm not going to say absolutely. Let me not put words in his mouth. He said he was content with the players that he has right now at his disposal. And my only question to Ruben Amorim would be, how can you be content with the players that you have? Number one, only two of them are new. I think Cunha and Mbeumo are going to make a difference. They ain't going to be life-changing. I could eat my words right now, but I don't think they're going to be life-changing. We can't expect them to carry the full weight of whatever it is Manchester United have lacked for this long. But also, how can you return back to pre-season with some of these players? You said verbatim, Luke Shaw is world class. Amorim, and actually we're actually matching right now. I'm wearing what he's wearing there. We're twins. I really want to back Amorim. Honestly, I really want to. This is a manager, by the way, that was threatening to quit in January. I think in January he might have realized the job was too big for him, or the job was just too much of a bad experience to be like, yo, like if he was happy to quit, and it was reported as well that at the end of the season when he had this little meeting with Barada, etc., he was ready to leave. He was ready to quit, and they convinced him to stay. I am very underwhelmed with that. Then when you say things that like you're content with the squad, I don't think you're content with the squad. There is no way anyone could be happy with the squad that they have, having finished 15th last season and playing the way that you were playing, to a point where you were saying this is could be the worst Manchester United team of the Premier League era. You were publicly saying that some of these players cannot follow instructions and they can't play that the way that you want them to play. But now suddenly the summer comes and you're content with them and you're happy. Yeah, he said he was talking about being happy if the season was to start tomorrow. I'm not happy if the season starts tomorrow. So how could you I don't think, genuinely speaking, guys, I don't think Amorim believes some of the stuff that he says. It would be all nice and well, and I know a lot of you guys would want a manager that comes out and just basically sticks it on people, basically. But I don't think he's gonna do that to Ineos. I don't think. Look at him. He looks sad. Now he looks preseason. He looks happy, but I think everyone's happy in preseason. It's sunny. It's hot. You get to travel to America. You know, you get to have good food and all of that stuff. But I do worry, and this is only the first press conference of what is going to be a long season. I'm not kidding, guys. Strap yourselves in. Yeah, seatbelts on, headgear on, everything on. This will be. If you, I could actually say, if I will say right now, if you guys thought last season was a struggle, I think this season's gonna be as bad. I think it might be as bad. Maybe that's a hot take from me, being quite reactionary on the fact that we haven't really brought in much, and I'm looking at everybody else around us, stacking players, bringing in change, bringing in quality, and Spurs haven't brought in a lot, but I think Spurs have the capability of bringing in players. I think people will want to go to Spurs. Yes, Mbumo turned them down, but I think they will be able to bring in players, especially with potentially Son leaving. City, Liverpool, Arsenal, I don't even think we are in that bracket. I don't think we are. Chelsea, strengthened everywhere. They're still strengthening. Xavi Simons, is potentially joining them. Brighton strengthening. Then you got the newly promoted team strengthening. Everton, West Ham, etc., etc. Big up to Zayn. Big up to Zayn with the super chat. Says Liverpool cooked by Milan. We stuffed them. Eze bomber incoming. Eze, Saki, Wanyeri, no chance opening day. Zayn, I tell you this all the time. If you fully believe what you say, send me £100 super chat right now. If you genuinely think United are gonna get battered by Arsenal on the opening day of the Premier League, send me £100 super chat right now. Put your money where your mouth is. Let me see what else you guys are saying. How many likes are we on? We've got over 140 people here. We're not even on 100 likes, guys. We're not even on 100 likes. Let me know what you are up to, by the way, on Saturday. Saturdays, for me, when there's no football on, I just don't know what to do with myself. Like today, I did a few stuff, some chores. I had an Arabic lesson. But really, my whole day, like after this stream, I think I'm just going to do some studying for a bit, because I don't know what to do on Saturdays when there's no football on. But yeah, make sure you lot hit the like button, man. You lot know the rules. You come in, you wipe your feet, you say hi to everyone in the chat. You hit the like button. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel. If you want to support the channel in alternative ways, you can. We've got a super chat goal. You can help us reach that super chat goal. It helps me as an independent channel to improve the quality, the content, and the output here that we do on a regular basis. And also, you lot know I'm not I'm not backed by anyone. No one backs me. So it's just the subscribers right now. It's just the subscribers as an independent content creator. So your support goes a long way. How was the SDS event? It was good. I've never been to a live show of a podcast. So I didn't know what to expect. Shout out to Sharky for actually inviting me to the live show. It was really good. I got to see a lot of people that I knew in the football industry. Yeah, what else? They did different stuff. So they did like Mastermind, which is a game show they do on their channel where you basically, it's different types of games. It's quite cool. They did Football Mafia. So they did different games on stage with different people. They got people out from the audience to do games as well. So it's like guess the career path. If you get it right, you win something. So somebody won like a PlayStation Portal. Somebody won a pair of trainers. Someone won the Barcelona Travis Scott limited edition football shirt. It was really good. It was nice for my first live show experience. And yeah, I respect Sharky a lot at SDS because he's put together something like life-changing. It's changed a lot of people's lives. So I respect it a lot. Some of the football opinions are wild, but that's football for you. Everyone's got different opinions. But yeah, the live show was pretty good. It was pretty good. At the end of the day, he doesn't want a lot of these players, and the recruitment team just can't sell them. Why else have we had bomb squad for weeks? They're not wanted. I actually think that once this bomb squad is over, there will be another one. Generally speaking, I think once this one is over, I think there'll be another one. Like once these lot leave, Luke Shaw, I would say maybe Mason Mount, players that United want to get rid of. They're gonna assemble another bomb squad. Let's talk about Antony. Let's talk about Antony. Antony's agent has confirmed that there is interest for him from Saudi Arabia. Multiple clubs interested in him. His agent also said that Antony is reportedly open to making a move there. His agent said, what I can say is that the player is on the market and there are several clubs that want to know his current situation. We listen to the projects and we analyze them, but he's open to moving to Saudi Arabia if there's a possibility that the player will potentially continue with Manchester United. Everything is possible, but we are looking for what is best for him. Now, if the price is right, he can go to Saudi. I don't mind. Malacia also has some interest from Saudi as well. It's interesting what's happening in Saudi football right now, because if you lot don't know, obviously, I think in recent years, Saudi football, I think foreign players have always been going to the Saudi league, but not to this extent that they're going now, because I think the wages have become quite extortionate to a point where they can't turn it down. But now, the Saudi Pro League are trying to, imagine this, now they are trying to control. They don't want the league to be looked at as a purely financial opportunities. Now, the clubs per se, they don't pay big fees historically. Obviously, Neymar went for a big fee but nobody has gone to the Saudi league for more than 100 million. So when they were willing to bid 100 million for Bruno Fernandes, I think United should have had a look at that. Now they also are bringing in PSR. If you guys don't know, they're bringing in PSR in the Saudi league. The league is implementing it, so similar to the way PSR is implemented by the FA. Their local football regulators are bringing in PSR to essentially stop the teams that have huge financial backing from doing what they've been doing. Al Hilal, Al Ahli, Al Ittihad, and Al Nasr. Those are the 4 teams that are owned by the Saudi Investment Fund. So they have a lot of access to finances, but now they can only spend a certain percentage of their revenue. And if they go over that, then they will be subjected to fines, suspensions, unable to register players, etc., etc. They also cannot report a certain number of losses. It's not similar to the PSR here in English football, but I think it works for them because also they don't generate a lot of money. Their clubs don't generate a lot of money from, for example, TV rights, etc. Now, with an opportunity for Antony to go, I'm only saying he should go because I want him to leave Manchester United, because not that I hate him, because I don't hate him. I once upon a time I thought he was a decent player for Manchester United, but it was just never consistent enough, and it wasn't to the value of what Man United paid for him. But that's not his fault. That's not his fault. I remember, if you don't remember when Antony wanted to join, he wanted to leave Ajax and come here so bad he went on strike. The guy went on strike and refused to turn up to training. Now, obviously, when you go from earning 20k euros a week to 200k GBP, that is one I would go on strike too. But he wanted to come to Manchester United. Just that, I think that transfer fee will always weigh over him when people speak about his time at Manchester United. And it's not really his fault. Man United got fleeced. Man United scouted him, guys, for 18 months. Yeah? 18 months they scouted him. And then they valued him at 25 million. And then that summer they went and paid 100 million for him. Imagine that. Imagine how absurd you have to be as a negotiator, where your scouts are saying 18 months ago we valued this guy at 25 million. Okay, I'll pay 100 million for him. Van der Sar is a Man United and Ajax legend for many, many reasons. But that's because he single-handedly got Ajax nearly 150 million from Manchester United. Single-handedly. Now, somebody mentions here, how did Antony get blacklisted? I don't think he got blacklisted in a way that Sancho did. I think Garnacho, Rashford. I don't think Antony's situation is as toxic as that. I just think that the managers don't want him, and he's not really a fan favorite, and also there's not really much consistency in his football. So he's on high wages. There's no point keeping him. I think that's why I say Mason Mount for me might be the next person that becomes part of a bomb squad, because he might have to because he's on high wages and Man United are not going to utilize him. They're going to have to find a way to get rid of him. And I think that's the same with Antony. Casemiro, I don't think will find himself on that list, because I think Casemiro has some worth at Man United. Like, the manager knows how to use Casemiro. And I think with his experience, it also goes a long way. I don't think Antony has done anything horrible. Like, he hasn't publicly undermined the manager. He hasn't, turned up late to training or whatever you could say. But also we have to accept that he's a player that needs to leave. So it is a bit harsh. I do think it's a bit harsh with him. I don't know if it's manager-led or Ineos-led. He's been consistent in Betis, has been the best La Liga player in 6 months. I wouldn't say he was the best player in La Liga for 6 months. I wouldn't say that. Did he have an impact on Betis? Yes, he did. Him and Isco were doing very well for them. But I wouldn't say he was the best player in 6 months in La Liga. I think that's a bit of revisionism. I think that is a bit of revisionism. One thing I will say, though, is if Betis don't come knocking on the door for Antony, his agent needs to find him a move. So if it is Saudi and he's actually open, and he's actually open to the idea of going to Saudi, I think United should take it. Now, it's been reported that Manchester United are in negotiations to sign Emi Martinez. Reportedly, Aston Villa rejected the first loan offer. And it's also been suggested that Ruben Amorim has picked Emi Martinez. Now, this is reports coming, obviously, from Argentina. But on the topic of goalkeepers, the name that doesn't seem to be going away is this guy here. How do you say his name, guys? Sen Lammens? Is it Senny? Sen or Sen? The goalkeeper at Royal Antwerp. It's been reported that Man United have been monitoring him for over 1 season. And sources advise that he is eager for a move, and officials regard him as the perfect goalkeeper acquisition to meet their criteria. It's not known yet whether he would come into Manchester United as a starter or to challenge Onana as number 2. It's expected that Altay Bayinda will probably leave Manchester United. Young guy. But one thing that, and I'm going to tell you the truth, until we were linked to him, I knew of him, but I didn't know much of him. And I went and watched some videos. Tall guy. But the way that he claims his goalkeeping ability from corners and like crosses is a bit concerning, if you want to say that. He uses his feet a lot, which people are comparing it to David De Gea. The way his ability to save shots with his feet, something that I don't think I've ever seen Onana do. But I am a little bit concerned about the way that he comes for crosses and corners. Now, that's just from me watching a couple of videos, right? It's just from me watching a couple of videos. So I'm not saying I'm totally against it. I have seen Man United in the past go down the route of signing a young goalkeeper and he becomes great for Manchester United. So it's a risk that I think United are willing to take. I feel like with the goalkeeper position, I feel like with certain positions in the team, it's worth going for experience. With goalkeeper, I feel like Onana has shown us all the time. Like Onana has shown us necessarily that just because you've got experience doesn't mean you're good. Like the biggest issue that I've had with Onana is because of his age, a lot of his errors should have been gone. It should have been out of him. Does he have some of the best cross-claimed stats? Let's bring up a chart. Let's bring up a chart. You don't know I love some data tables. The first thing that I always find funny, guys, yeah, is why are we putting SofaScore as something? Why are we looking at his SofaScore rating? I don't care if he's number 2 in all competitions for SofaScore ratings. Jay Trafford is a good goalkeeper, by the way. He's a really good goalkeeper. So for Royal Antwerp, in all competitions last season, I think this is in the Belgian league, of course. I think what stands out to me is saves per game. He was second in the league. Save percentage, 76%. That's a good save percentage. Most penalties saved. His high claims, he was 10th out of all the goalkeepers in the league. Clean sheets. Oh, this is in Europe. Sorry, this is in Europe. Ranking amongst goalkeepers from the top 10 European leagues with at least 60% of minutes played in the season. So clean sheets, he's not ranked that high. He's 66. But things like penalties, he saved the most penalties out of all the goalkeepers in the top 10 European leagues. Firstly, saves per game, he's second out of all the goalkeepers in the top 10 European leagues. Goals conceded per game is about I would say 57th, but I think a lot of goalkeepers will be in and around that range. And also goals prevented. Look at his goals. Look at this metric here. Goals prevented. He's third. Top 10 for high claims is good. It is. Of course, he's in a shit league. This is true. This is kind of true, guys. This is kind of. I think we have to accept that is kind of true. It's not that he's in a crap league. He's just It's not maybe of the level of other European leagues. So his stats might slightly be skewed, but also he's young. He's a young goalkeeper. Firstly, one thing I will say, yeah, is the reason why I'm not pro Onana is just because I feel like younger keepers, it's okay for young keepers to make mistakes. It's okay. When you are nearly 30, you shouldn't be making the mistakes that Onana makes. If we had him as our goalkeeper or a young keeper like Trafford or someone like that, I would have been okay with the mistakes. Zion Suzuki is another keeper we were linked to last summer, a young keeper. You know who I look at and I think, oh my God, Dean Henderson. For as much as he seemed like a little bit of a diva at Manchester United, he was done dirty. Man United did Dean Henderson dirty. If you lot don't know the kind of story behind it, he was promised to have a fair shot at the number 1 spot. And then the manager turned around and said, nah, David De Gea is going to be my keeper. He didn't get a fair shot. And that is pretty much the case, I think, for a lot of players at Manchester United, especially like players that came through the system. A lot of them didn't get fair shots in the team. They didn't get a fair chance. And sometimes with, like, for example, Marcus Rashford is an example that you just need one moment, one chance to really grab it. Angel Gomez never really got a chance at Manchester United. Dean Henderson never really got a chance, but they've all gone on and, gone on to do good stuff. I don't think it was down to Henderson's injury. I don't think it was down to his injury. We should have got Verbruggen before he went to Brighton. Is there any? I would have, because I remember, I think it was Ridwan saying that we should have went for Flecken. Ridwan, I remember, was saying we should have went for Flecken before. Obviously, he's gone to Bayer Leverkusen now. I look around a lot of goalkeepers in the league, and I think there's a lot of goalkeepers I would have over Onana. Honestly, we are really. I think Arsenal got a world-class keeper. I think Liverpool got a world-class keeper. I think Edison, to an extent, was a world-class goalkeeper. I think they've just signed a quality keeper in Trafford. I don't think we're like. I think Spurs' keeper, Vicario, quality goalkeeper. The only people in the top 6 that maybe has a keeper as bad as us is Sanchez at Chelsea. And even then, Sanchez looked pretty decent in the Club World Cup final. He still had a little bit of a mistake. I wanted Joe Garcia, but he's at Barca now. It makes sense that he went to Barca because obviously Ter Stegen is going to be out for at least 3 months. He's about to have, I think, surgery on his back. He's out for 3 months. Szczesny is an interesting character last season for Barcelona. But a lot of teams have better keepers than us. Vicario is overrated. I support Inter Milan and I warned United fans about Onana. The hate I received, man, deal with it. No sympathy from me. That. Damn. Tell us how you really feel, my friend. Do you guys think we end up with a goalkeeper this summer? Do you guys think we end up with a goalkeeper? Because the way that Man United are talking, or the way that the media is talking about our striker situation and how Man United are happy with potentially not signing a striker, I think the last signing that we get, guys, is a goalkeeper. And if United end the window with 3 signings after finishing 15th, that's spooky. You'll end up with a backup keeper. I see it. It's spooky. It's spooky if we only end up with 3 signings, guys. How much would we have to be humbled, guys? I think we have to bring it down a notch. We'd have to bring it down a notch and humble ourselves if we go into transfer deadline day with no new signings and just the 3 that we potentially could get. So the 2 that we already got plus the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper situation worries me right now. We need 1 at least. I don't know if I'm more worried about the goalkeeper situation or the striker situation. I think I'm more worried about the striker. I think I'm actually more worried about the midfield. A part of me is hoping that players like Sekou Kone will come good for Manchester United. But I am worried. I'm worried about the midfield. And I'm worried about the striker position. I'm a little bit worried about goalkeeper. With Onana, you know what it is? It's like, I convinced myself, guys, this might be delusion, right? But I convinced myself, if we can hold on to possession, I don't have to be worried about Onana. Right? Is that crazy to say that? If we hold on to possession, and because we got good midfielders, and we got good players across the outfield team, the ball never goes to the keeper, and we just dominate possession, so the opponent never gets it. But that's never going to happen. So I have to be worried about goalkeeper. I have to be worried about goalkeeper. I think we get Lammens. He's relatively cheap. I'm already humbled. Europa League final did that to me. I'd be crashing out if we don't sign more than 3. Højlund had better pack his bags. I don't trust him at all. I saw a picture. I have to bring this. Wait, hold on. I need to show. I need to see if you lot seen this picture. Well, I need to find a clear picture of it. I need to find a clear version. This is not really a clear version. No, this when I saw this, I was like, oh, right in front of the manager, right in front of Ruben Amorim. Look at what Chido. I can't believe it. Højlund thought he could try with Chido whatever it is he's been doing for the last 2 years at United. And firstly, why they are built the same? Like they are Chido. I'm very impressed with Chido because I'm looking at him next to a grown-ass striker who's had, 3 years of first-team experience at the least. And Chido is making him look like a little bro. He's making him look like a little bro right there. I just saw this and I was like, oh my God. He tried to post him up. He tried to post him up. This is literally like flipping Nate Robinson trying to post up Shaq. People believed Ineos would back Amorim. Was that naive? Was that naive of us? I think it was a little bit naive. I have seen though. Let me see if I can bring it up. Lausanne, FC Lausanne, the Swiss team that's owned by Ineos, have just brought in. Now, this is not me being a conspiracy theorist, guys. But you don't know I'm a conspiracy theorist. Mohamed Al Saad. They've just brought in this young kid here. From where? Saudi Pro League. From who? NEOM FC. Now, just for some context, guys, Saudi football, like the national team and the Pro League, they're trying to get a lot more of their players to go and play in Europe. So Ineos are doing Saudi a favor by taking a 22-year-old on loan, get some experience in Europe. Looks good on his CV. NEOM are not a recently formed team. They've actually renamed into NEOM. They were called something else. They've just been promoted to the Saudi Pro League. They got hella money, guys. Hella money. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but we will revisit this in a week. If Malacia or Antony end up going there. And it's I scratch my back, you scratch yours. NEOM needs to come for Onana. They did come for Onana. They literally were interested in him. And then they turned around and said, actually, we're not interested. We're not interested. How many likes we on? How many likes are we on? We are on. Why is my lights so dark? What the hell? We are on 101 likes. We got over 160 people here. Please hit the like button, guys, if you've been here and you haven't, because clearly there's people that have been here that haven't hit the like button. Why do UK streamers say we only have 2 midfielders when we actually play with 4? Attacking midfielders are also midfielders. Good question. I guess it's really more so how you view the structure and the setup. I think for me, midfielders are those that sit in the base of the middle of the pitch. So I think Man United play with 2 midfielders because they sit in the base. Now, as Manchester United, in my opinion, fall into a defensive structure, the opponent's midfielders are more likely, in my opinion, to come up against the 2 sitting midfielders that United have rather than the attacking midfielders. So let's say, for example, Man United play PSG. PSG are attacking. They've got possession in the middle of the pitch. Who do you think is going to be going toe-to-toe with PSG's midfielders? Do you think it would be Cunha and Mbeumo? Or do you think it would be... Who would be likely to be pressing João Neves, pressing Fabian Ruiz, pressing Vitinha? That's my question to you guys. Number 1. Number 2, attacking midfielders for me are more so part of the attacking setup rather than the midfield setup. I would even go as far to say that I would see the wide centre backs more as a midfielder in Amorim's system than the attacking midfielders. That's just my opinion. Just in the way that I've seen Man United play. Mazraoui on the right side is centre back, or Lenny Yoro on left side is centre back, or Aiden Heaven. I would see them more part of shifting into midfield and part of the midfield structure than I would see the people that are playing in the 10. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. And I also think we have to say that yes, attacking midfielders are midfielders, but I think the attacking midfielder position, I don't really think it's midfield. I don't think you're playing midfield. You're playing more so in the final third of the pitch. So are you really a midfielder? It's a bit different. Yeah, I don't know. Especially in Amorim's system. I'm trying to base everything off Amorim's system, my logic. So that's how I see it. Let me see what you lot are actually saying. The cam should be engaging with the CDM, and our 2 CM should be engaging with their CMs. I agree. Unless it's only one attacking midfielder in a midfield three, like how we played 4-2-3-1 in the past. I feel it's pretty clear when people say midfielders, they mean central midfielders. Yeah, when I talk about midfielders, majority of the time I'm talking about central midfielders. Like, but I will say, I was on Saturday Social on Sky Sports back in like November, and I remember one of the segments that we were doing was rating the best 10 midfielders in the league. And I remember, obviously, I was on it with Spence. Shout out to Spence from hashtag, because a lot of it was midfielders. So we'll talk about people like Declan Rice, Caicedo, McAllister, etc. But then Cole Palmer came into the conversation. And Cole Palmer is not a midfielder, but he is an attacking midfielder. So I think Spence decided to put him in that list. But it is different because then in that case, Florian Wirtz will be in that conversation next season if we're talking midfielders, because he's an attacking midfielder. A 10 is an attacking midfielder. So yeah, I think it just kind of depends. Are wing backs classified as midfielders? Not to me, no. Wing backs to me are not classified as midfielders. In and out of possession, I think it changes in Amorim's system. Let me see what else you guys are saying. We need 10 like McAllister, who's a real midfielder. I would love a player like McAllister. I would love a player like McAllister. He's really good. He's really, really good. But listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. What we got coming on the channel over the next couple of days? Well, firstly, if there's any breaking news between now and tomorrow, of course, I will be live. I don't think there's going to be any news. There might be a video if there's any breaking news anywhere else in the Premier League. You know, if, I don't know, Isaac joins Liverpool, you know, all of that stuff. I'll drop a video. Malik Fofana to Everton. You know what's crazy? I'm thinking of doing a video of, like, outside of the big six, just some transfers that I'm impressed with. And this is the talent in the Premier League next year is going to be really good in the mid-table teams. If Sunderland manage to get their hands on Mikatadze, which they've been linked to, I don't know if they will, but if they are able to, I'm really impressed with the level of quality in the players across. And Everton have always scouted good. Like, they've always had good scouting. They brought in Anana, they brought in Njai. Everton they've got better scouting than us, clearly. They clearly got better scouting than us. But yeah, if there's any breaking news for Manchester United, of course, you lot know I will be live tomorrow. It's a big one. Tomorrow's a big one because we're doing a watch along here. We are doing the watch along for the women's Euros final, England versus Spain. Yes, it's AFCON today as well. Women's AFCON final today. If you want to watch it, it's on TV as well. It's Nigeria versus Morocco. I don't know who I'm supporting. I got a Nigeria shirt, but I grew up with a lot of Moroccans. But I got a lot of Nigerian friends. I don't know. I don't think I could support either of them. I think I have to be a neutral for the women's AFCON final because it's North versus West. I'm from East Africa, so we're not involved. So I'm going to try stay neutral on that. On TV, yes, I'm pretty sure I think it's on ITV, one of the ITVs. But yeah, tomorrow I will be live 20 to 30 minutes before kickoff for the women's Euros final, England versus Spain. Watch along. It's a big one. It's a huge, huge, huge one. So make sure you lot come through for that. Turn on your post notifications. The stream's already live, so go and turn on your post notification for that, so that when I go live tomorrow, you lot will be notified straight away. I'm going to go have some lunch and just chill, maybe watch some TV. I started watching a TV show called The Rookie. I like police shows. So I really used to like watching SWAT, but that was too much action. The Rookie feels like it's a bit of comedy, drama, and a little bit of action. So I'm going to go chill, have some lunch, and maybe do some studying. Nolan, yeah, John Nolan, exactly that. But big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you lot all for coming through. I really appreciate it. All of you lot that stuck throughout the stream, getting involved in the conversation. Enjoy your weekend, Minna. Likewise, Raphael, I hope you have a great weekend. And if there's no news, I'll catch you lot all tomorrow on the Daily Dose of Minna. Have a great afternoon, guys. I'm out. Peace.